goes this. There goes that. And you are good to go.
Hey, Chels.
Hey, Stace.
You know what? Church is nothing more than just the greatest book club ever. They even bring snacks and wine. It's amazing. Everyone can attend. And even if you haven't read the book, you're still welcome to join.
Play that track, Dave.
Please.
I'm single.
Why? You're so fabulous.
Yeah, I'm single. Ready to mingle. Yeah, I'm single. These are the reasons why I'm single.
Stacy.
Hey. How are you, Chels?
I'm living life. How are you, Stace?
I'm all right. Shouts out to you, America, and people in various countries. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Said the turkey before you ate it.
If the thing that you are like most excited about for Thanksgiving is normally your extended family, and this year you don't necessarily get to hang out with them, like your girl, listen to this podcast when people start making you mad. Just headphones. Sorry, I've got to take a call. It's really important. Headphones, good to go. So if you're listening to this in the morning, save it for later. Save it. You might need it.
Yes, I'm all about saving it until later.
Oh, she is.
Yay! Also, shout out to all of my dear friends who took time out of their day to congratulate me on Michael B. Jordan being People's Sexiest Man of the Year. First of all, I've been telling y'all for years that he was that, but he's not your type. It's fine. But thank you for those that just are finally recognizing that I am a prophet to the Hollywood, and I call these things a lot more often than people realize. So thank you. We're all very proud of Michael B. Even though if he were ugly, his talent would still be amazing and he would still do great. However, God took his time on him and he's delicious.
Yeah. I was to spend a little more time on you. So I did not assume that Stacy hadn't heard, because I assumed enough people know that Stacy likes him that they would inform her. But I found this like Snapchat interview with People magazine, and it was like all of his answers. And for every time Stacy's like, but if you ended up with him, I'd be supportive, I listened to his answers and I was like, this is just proof we would not end up together.
I was laughing because you said that, and I was just like, okay, like, first of all, I don't know why you're trying to dig at my hypothetical man. Like, he's everyone's type.
You're like, everything's fine.
So then if you went on Instagram and you went to People's Instagram, so they interviewed him 10 years ago as like one of the upcoming like actors or people to watch. So then they had the interview, the little snap interview that you sent me, Chels. So they had him holding a tablet and watching that interview from 10 years ago. And him like responding to it. That was pretty cool. And so in the one from 10 years ago, they're like, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? And he's just like, whoa, I'm gonna be like 33. Like, it was so funny. And he was just like, I mean, just the cliche things. I hope to be happy and I hope to be healthy. I'm like, well, that's perfect for 2020. And then he goes in, I'd like to start a family. And so they had asked them that question before he watched the clip. And that was his same response this year was, I hope to start a family. Let me just put that out there. I'm like, oh, way to be consistent. I love it. I love it.
Your boyfriend is super positive.
Well, see, he's not my boyfriend. We're just friends according to my dreams. So.
But in your dreams, you keep dating married men. So why would we trust that?
I listen, but I told you, and America, what I learned is that it's the attributes of those men that will be in my future
According
suitor.
to one person.
First of all, this is why I go to that one person, because you're not backing me up right now, Chelsea. Can you just have my back? Okay, I get it. You don't like my man. That's fine. Can you still be supportive of us as a hypothetical whole?
Supportive. I am. I'm the one who's sitting here saying that your dream says that you're like, that your dream says you're supposed to be with married man and he's not your boyfriend. I'm the one saying your dreams are wrong. That's me having your back.
Also, speaking of dreams, I'm so happy you said that. I have to find this.
I have a cough.
What'd you say?
I apologize. I have a cough.
Boo. No, of course, apologize. So like the one thing that I think Facebook is amazing for is memories, because I will say something in the present tense and then I will look at my memories. I'm like, ooh, I'm a hypocrite. And so, but then there are times where it just gets it right and I feel better about myself. So,
If I
8 years.
you mean you.
There it is. There it is. Listen, life is about self-discovery. It is a journey. So in 2012, my status was, did you hear about the camping trip? It was intense. But and then it says my coworkers love/hate me right now. And then right below that, same day, same year, it's a response from you, Chels, or you wrote on my wall. It says, I had a dream that I was at your wedding to Mackay Pfeiffer. Crazy reception afterwards. My dream self had fun. So you've always been like my dream confidant.
Lord, I hope my dreams are not the ones that we're basing life off of, because I have some crazy dreams.
You do.
Yeah. I get like, it's just my brain working things out. I apologize in advance for my Pippi Longstocking hair. I'm not sure what's happening.
It's cute.
I only saw it right before we started the show. I braid my hair because I work at a bakery during the week, and that way it keeps my hair out of things. And then, but my hair doesn't like it. It's like, no, thank you. We're just gonna like, yeah.
It's just gonna what?
the sound effect. Yeah.
Real friends repeat themselves.
But you know, Pippi Longstocking. Do you remember Pippi Longstocking? She's
I do, but I don't know if our listeners do.
Yeah, well, that's also because I was like, Pippi Longstocking. She was like, I don't remember a ton about her, but she was an orphan, and she had a horse and a capuchin monkey.
That is a very specific monkey reference.
Because I don't want people to picture a bigger monkey. It's like a little monkey. And I want to say she just like found an abandoned house and like made it work.
I mean, isn't that just adulthood?
This house seems abandoned. I live here now. Where's my monkey?
Squatters' rights. I'm a child.
But yeah, so it's interesting. Let me tell. This week's been interesting. I did officially sign off on my house. So homeowner. So excited. I'm excited, but I'm also still like not in the house because they have occupancy for a bit. So it's real, but it's also not really that real yet.
It's real.
But it's for real.
It's for real. Like for real, for real.
Like I ordered new door locks today. So
yeah, that's for real, for real.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yay.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have somewhere to hang out that's like one of ours.
Right. God bless our parents. It's been great to be able to lock down, quarantine, all that stuff with them. It's been nice to have these last moments of togetherness, which is why we took advantage of this time, because it's like you're not, dude, I was thinking about this the other day too. Like So I haven't had a grandparent for a very long time. Like all of my grandparents have gone to heaven. So whenever like a friend is talking about their grandparent, I'm like, oh, tell me more, because I would love to have a grandparent like as a for real adult. I just think that is magical. So with us staying at home during quarantine, I feel like it was like our adult selves being like, you know what, we're going to spend this additional time with our parents because we can, because we probably will never get this time back again. And though it has been rocky at times, there's been some adjustments because full-fledged adults under one roof, or it's always sparks some interesting conversations. But at the same time, I know we will always look back at this time and be like, you know what? We made the best of a great situation. We spent time with people, and now we can't even spend time with people like we'd want to. So we are very fortunate to have had this time together. So, but on that note, deuces.
Bye.
But we love you. And also, do you remember as a kid for birthdays when you would be like, oh, I'm turning 5 years old, I got $5. Like I could really use $35 now. Like just like some extra change. I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
That is what my parents give us, my brothers and I, as presents for our birthday. For ever since we were 18, like we don't get extra anything. We just get however many dollars. We are old.
Oh, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Should we take care of some business days?
Absolutely. Chelsea, what is it time for?
It's time for the fake name series of the day.
Ow! So the fake name series of the day is what we use to save
the
shade. So instead of using people's real names, we use names that are from the fake name series of the day to hide their identities. But if they heard these stories,
They know who they are.
whether near or far. Support your local restaurant and bar. Carry
That's
out
true.
to your car. You're welcome.
That's true.
Yes.
Listen, with Michigan being under stay at home again for these things, like I'm out money because of karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
But like there are friends of mine that their only job is waitressing. So if you get a carry out, if you want to get a burger from a local bar. First off, it's gonna taste better. Then secondly, they will probably get it done just as quickly, and you won't have to wait in those crazy fast food lines. And they'll bring it to your car. Like, so it's the same as drive-through. So in this moment, you are not wrong, Stacey. Like, support your local restaurants and bars for sure.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for saying I'm not wrong. That felt really good. So tonight's series, fake name series of the day, is the haves and the have-nots.
Sorry.
Let it out. Just let it out.
The series follows three families and their lifestyles as they coexist in Savannah, Georgia. The rich, powerful, and locally very public Cryer and Harrington families, dubbed the haves, and the poor and destitute young family, dubbed the have-nots. The young family is headed by Hannah, a single mother who works as the Cryer family's maid and also serves as the best friend and confidant of the lady of the house, Catherine.
Ooh. Sounds dramatic.
It leads to polar opposite lifestyles in terms of social class, economics, social status, and surroundings, and they are each similar in that they lead exceedingly dysfunctional lifestyles.
Welcome to adulthood.
Welcome to a Tyler Perry show.
What up, TP? Also, super shouts out to a guest of ours a couple months ago, Toy. She goes by Chop Goddess Toy Marie. You can follow her Instagram handle, which is chopgoddess_toy. So of course, so restaurants are back on lockdown, and so also a lot of salons have taken a hit with their clientele and all of that stuff. So what she had started doing was just people that she was close to, and they had to, just know that they were all like had been COVID tested and all that other stuff. She would actually do home visits. So I actually had a wonderful home visit by her, and she hooked your girl up with a fresh cut. So if you see me giving all sorts of looks and angles, it's because I am feeling myself with this haircut. So thank you, you amazing woman with your amazing magical hands that just gave life into my hair. Yes. Yes. So, Chels, what is going on?
Well, I laughed because when this happened, I was like, wow, that's going on the podcast. Cool.
When what
So-
happened?
So I was at work at the bar. So, okay. So full disclosure, I have been really nervous about home ownership and
Who wouldn't
and
be?
the fact that my normal job due to COVID took me down to part-time. So I picked up another part-time job at the bakery, and then I've been doing DoorDash, and then I also have the karaoke gig, and then I talk to you fine people. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I fall asleep pretty much the second I sit down at any moment. Hence, surprise nap.
She's so happy to be here.
No, she's happy to be here. She's a little annoyed she fell asleep, but
No, but you are legit happy to be here.
yeah. So I got done with my job doing eyebrows on Saturday. I got home. I did DoorDash for like an hour and a half, and then I got home again, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for work. And I had like maybe 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep reading. I've been reading the Hunger Games, rereading the Hunger Games, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read the Hunger Games. Completely fell asleep. Ended up being an hour late for the bar. Like, woke up to like 9 missed calls from the bar, and everybody was like, nobody's mad. We're really just concerned because literally in 10 years, I've never done this. So I'm like, and I also really, really don't like being late. Because I don't,
This is true.
I don't like feeling like people were waiting for me or I was the reason that things were held up. I will show up 30 minutes early somewhere and sit in the parking lot, like, because I really, really don't like that. My one addendum, like non-reality, like non-truth to that is if I'm going to a party, I really probably didn't like, I don't like being on time. I don't know.
I mean, the intimate Hollywood, Halloween, hocus pocus extravaganza.
Yeah, I'm probably late to that every year though. Like that had nothing to do with. I mean, that was when it was down the street for me. But anyway, so I answer the phone and they're like, "Oh my God!" The person who answered is like, "Oh my God, she's in a ditch somewhere and she just gained consciousness." And I'm like, or I'm just in my bed.
Because you are not a liar.
Like, yeah, I'm in a ditch, but my car's fine. I'll be there soon. No, because then I'd be like, yeah, I'm not a good liar. So,
Which is why we should not lie.
so I got in the car. I drove there. I was an hour late. Fantastic group of people were still waiting. The Michigan game was on, so they just made the Michigan game the radio and made
What
it seem
Michigan game?
wouldn't have, didn't watch it.
It was a rough weekend for Michigan sports, America, just so you know.
But they decided that they just turned it on the radio, so that way there was they could be like, oh, we're waiting because of the Michigan game. And so by the time I got there, it was like the end of the third quarter or something, and I'm like, okay, well, and we had these two people walk up as soon as I walked in. They're like, hi, I want to put in a song. It's like, hi, the machine's not even on. So like, because I don't like, and I'm like, so I will get you slips. I will handle that situation. But first we have to turn the machine on. And then of course something got dislodged when somebody ABCD. So of course it can't just turn on. That would be easy. Right. So I finally find what needed to get plugged in. It's relatively simple. It didn't take me that long. It was just, I was annoyed. I was annoyed about the whole thing. And it's my fault. So I'm more annoyed. Like, I am only mad at myself right now. We started singing, we start going. It was a fantastic group of people are singing hilarious songs. I sang For You I Will by Monica. It was just a good night. Like, yeah, it was just kids.
I would cross the ocean for you.
Yeah. Hey kids, Google For You I Will by Monica. Also, it's a good song. And
also,
it's super nice.
Also, Google Space Jam, the original, and just know that that's what brought us into like maturity. Like, I was grown after that soundtrack. I've said it a bunch of times and I won't stop saying it. For you, I will. Back before we knew how much of a terrible person he was. I Believe I Can Fly. Like, listen, it just gives a little like gospel to your soul. It's time to Space Jam. Listen,
And then
we got
like
down.
right after I sang that, somebody sang "Sitting Up in My Room," and I was like, "Okay, Brandy Monica, like
come through." Oh, and I mentioned Mekhi Phifer. It's all coming full circle. Also, children, please Google "The Boy Is Mine." Watch the video. That's what's gonna make it worth it. Okay.
Yeah, it's also gonna make this make sense.
Right. Also, huge shout out to the bar that Chelsea works at, because I was in the zone. So, like I told you, like just writing throughout this pandemic, like creative writing, finished this book. So now, like, just like proofreading since it was like a rough draft. And so I was in the zone. And so I stay focused. I keep my phone away from me. So it wasn't until 11 o'clock that I looked at my phone and someone from the bar had messaged me saying, "Hi there. This is weird and you don't know me, but I think you work with Chelsea. I've heard her talk about you. Anyways, no one can get a hold of her and we're really worried." And I was just like, what a kind establishment.
Aren't they so nice?
And then they text, huh?
They messaged my dad too.
Oh, and then they messaged back. They're like, "We got a hold of her. She just overslept. She's okay." And I'm like, first of all, I'm so sorry. It's 11 o'clock and I'm just now seeing this an hour and 15 minutes later. And I'm just like, I'm so glad she is okay as well. But this is why you support your local restaurants and establishments. They care about the community. They care about their patrons. Oh,
100%. So we're having a good night. Everything's vibing. We're a really positive group. This girl comes up to me and already not to just assume. Yeah, what's her name? That's a good question.
Hannah Young.
Is there a weirder name on the list?
We have Quita. That's not weird though. How about Pearl? I like Pearl.
There you go.
Pearl. So, freaking Pearl.
Pearl comes up and she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hi." You know, it's like, "Hi, welcome to the bar." You know. And she's like, "Oh my gosh." Okay. So then slight addendum, like it's at that point in the night where like, we're definitely hitting like drunk girl territory. And I will say every time, if the positive drunk girl bathroom experience were in politics, we would have world peace. Like, if they'd be like, "Yes, France, with your fabulous shoes, we will give you the environmental act. Yes." You know why? Because you're a queen. That's who you are. Like, world peace would exist really easy. And then they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, America, have you seen your like beautiful landscapes? Gorgeous. We want to be here for you." Like,
oh my word.
So if drunk girl energy could go into, everything would be fixed. It might not make 100% of sense all the time, but you'll look good doing it and you'll have some confidence. So,
and even if I don't look good, my best friend says I look good. So we're going to talk about this.
I'm a queen. Did you hear that? I'm a queen.
Did you hear that? And it's my birthday.
So we're in that territory of the bar. So Pearl standing there and she's like, "Hi. Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I drunk people really compliment people. So it's like, "Thank you, drunk girl. Bye-bye now."
Bye.
And she's like, you're just so pretty. You're just so pretty." I'm like, "Thank you so much. Did you want to sing?" Like,
how old do you think Pearl is?
25. Like prime drunk girl, maybe a little.
I also was half in the bag at 25.
Right. So then she's like real serious and she's like, "Can I smell you?" And I laugh because that's stupid. And then she's like, no, seriously. And I was like, okay, so now we're jumping into Chelsea's brain. It's like, okay, we have a really good vibe going in the bar right now. Everybody's really positive. This feels like it can go one of two ways. Like the first way is I say, no, crazy lady, go sit down. And she flips out, changes the whole mood.
I was just gonna say she flips tables. Like, I hate this establishment.
Or I let her smell me and she goes and sits down. I don't really have anything fancy going on. And I'm like,
Also, welcome to being a woman, because this is our life. Like, whenever we're faced with something, we're just like, okay, I don't want to deal with this. However, because I am a nurturing, caring human being, let me assess what the potential outcomes could be, and we're going to do whatever is best for the greater good. You are welcome, universe. Right.
So, I was like, I'm surrounded by like gifts for my future niece. So I'm like, maybe I can use one to describe what she did. Like a visual aid. So
Ooh.
I'm like, I guess she decides on my arm, if this is Pearl, which is for those of you listening, this is a bunny, but not a live bunny. But if this is Pearl and like my hand is my shoulder, she goes
like face plants into your shoulder.
Her face against my arm. Smashes her face into my arm, and she's like deeply inhaling. It's like, oh, you smell so good. And
Like a Gain commercial.
Like, oh my God, it was exactly like a Gain commercial.
Future sponsor, please.
So she's like, she takes another inhale, and I was like, thank you. She's like, I don't even know it. You just smell so good. Oh my God. And then I'm like, oh, okay, all right. She's like, takes one more sniff, and I'm like, all right, did you want to sing a song? Because like now we're leaving like this was helpful, and now this is like, now we're uncomfortable. And she's
and what's her song about smelling something?
Well, and she's like, let me think about it. Da, 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 da. So then she goes and sits down. She comes back over, and one of my friends is like, why was she so close to your face? Like, thankfully, I'm wearing a mask this whole time. But it was just one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I don't know. I definitely gave her permission to smell me. So I just didn't think it was going to be to that extent. So then she comes back up and she's like, I just really want to smell you. My friend is still sitting next to me. And what's my friend? Wait, my friend is
a girl or a guy?
It's a girl.
Celine.
So Celine is sitting next to me, and she's like, Celine's also in drunk girl territory, and she's like, Chelsea, you haven't accepted my friend request. She's like, are you okay? Because she's very close to your face, but also accept my friend request on Facebook. Like, and I'm like, okay, as long as you like stay here while Pearl comes over, I'll accept your friend request. It's a whole long story as to why I don't really accept people's friend requests from the bar, but like she seems fine enough. So
that's the way I am with coworkers. I don't accept coworkers' friends requests. I'm like, nah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna lose my job for something I thought was funny. That's not, no. So Pearl comes back over, and she's like, I want to sing a song, and I'm like, okay, what song do you want to sing? And she's like, I'm just I wish I could say this was like so complimentary that I got a big head about it. It was like, at this point I was like, okay, drunk girl, nobody believes you at this point, like, because she's like, I'm just so distracted by your beauty, and I'm like, okay.
Right, like I would have said the same thing. Like,
it's a very similar picture to what I have going on right now, which is a no makeup, fell asleep, showed up at the bar Luke.
Because you don't need makeup.
Oh, I definitely do. But
No, you don't.
but I'm like, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just so pretty. Got it. Like, I hear you. I no longer it's not a compliment to me. Now it's just kind of annoying. And then she's like, can I smell you again? And I was like, you know what? I feel like I smell the same as when you just smelled earlier. And then Celine's like, why?
Thank you, Celine.
And I was like, I mean, that's also a fair question. So, Celine's
Right.
just, she's like, why? Why do you want to smell her? That's a weird thing to ask. And she's like, and then Pearl looks at Celine and goes, have you smelled her? She smells amazing. So then Celine's like,
A gentle sniff, not a face plant into your shoulder, but a nice, gentle, not touching you sniff.
right? And then she's like, I mean, you do smell nice. And I was like, I don't even have like perfume on, you guys. Stop it. It's
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, yeah.
no, nothing. And I'm like, this is weird. And she's like, well, you don't smell bad. And I'm like, thank you. That's what a
Major
bar.
preach. Right?
So then I'm like, okay, Pearl, what song do you want to sing? And she's like, well, can I sniff you after I sing it? And I'm like, last time, sure. And so she's like, because again, it's like, because right before that, when I was like, oh, I think we might be done. Drunk girl flip switch, you know? She's like, oh, cool. So I should just F off then.
Right?
Like, and I'm
Because
like,
you just don't know with drunk people. You just don't know.
well, but that's what she said. And I was like, okay, listen, that's not what's happening. But like, there's people waiting to give me songs. Like, we got to keep this moving. And she's like, well, can I sniff you after I sing? And I'm like,
So
okay,
weird.
fine. But it's the last time. And then she's like, pinky promise that I can smell you one more time. And I'm like, pinky promises. Like, okay. And then as I like reach my hand out, she's like,
what a weird, like, maybe
so weird.
you
And then
maybe you don't know it, but maybe you smell like Coke.
well, and then she's like, oh my gosh, I think I was raised by wolves. And then she walks away. And I'm like, all right. And then Celine's laughing. And I was like, I don't really think you helped that situation. And she's like, at least I was here. She couldn't come sit down. I'm like, fine, fair enough. So she sings her song. I do not remember what song. It was Shania Twain, If You're Not In It for Love.
Oh, I don't know.
And
that one.
it's like, if you're not in it for love. And then it does some music and she goes, I'm out of here. That kind of thing.
I do know on whatever episode of Jeopardy this week, it's only, I act like the week is already done. Like, I don't know what day it is, but they did reference Shania Twain's that don't impress me much. And I'm like, can we just talk about how Shania Twain is a boss? And she was like, okay, so you're Brad Pitt. I still need more than just a pretty face. You better do it, Shania. Oh, Shania. That may be one of my children's middle names, because Shania. I rolls with it. Yes.
Listen, you should totally check out our Instagram, Stacey, because you're referencing a lot of things that we have on there.
I know. But it just happens organically too. It's amazing. You're meant for that.
For those of you who don't know, it's at RWIS Podcast. That's also our Twitter. Or you can come hang out with us here on Facebook at Reasons Why I'm Single.
Hey. That was the
so
other thing I was going to say. So when she keeps asking you if I can smell you, that is, I feel like for any question, if you keep asking the same question, it's no longer cool, even if it started off as a compliment. For example, if it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you are single. You are such a catch. And I'm like, I know, right? But it's okay. And you go about your business. Then they're just like, no, but seriously, like, why are you single? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Why are you? Why? Even if it's just like, hey, do you still bake? Yeah, I do still bake cake. Oh my gosh, good. I mean, but do you still bake? Do you still bake? I mean, do you still bake? Like, after a while, I'm just like, what's the point? What do you want? Even though I enjoy baking, like, cool your jets, okay?
You're like, you made me want to quit baking.
Exactly. It feels like badgering at that point. Like, oh,
Yeah,
do you
no,
go
it
to the
definitely-
beach? Do you go to the beach? Do you go to the beach? Like, I just get mad. Like, fine. Are you saying I shouldn't go to beaches? You don't like seeing me at the beach? Beach, please.
So so she gets up, she sings her song, and then into the microphone, she says, you pinky promised I get to smell you now. To which the entire bar is like,
Like,
What?
so many questions. Why is she smelling you? Where is she smelling you? What does she smell while she's smelling you? And why does she want to smell?
Like, it's just, I think she's using the raised by wolves thing as an excuse. And I was like, that I did. I had another person sitting next to me at the time. And so she comes over and I was like, this is your last sniff. And she's like, okay, I got it. And the amount of inhale, exhale on my arm at that moment was so too far. It was to the point where Celine was next to me and she's like, okay, you're gonna pass out. You should go sit down.
So weird. That's
Like,
so weird. I'm telling you.
it was the weirdest thing. But because the last time she said it into the microphone. Every single person at the bar was like, oh, Chelsea, real quick, I just got a question for you. Can I smell you? And
I love the camaraderie. We are in this together.
it's like,
Smell
and
one,
it's like,
smell all.
do you remember in the movie Casper when he was like the creepy ghost who'd be like, can I keep you? And like,
Don't remember, to be quite honest.
oh, it's a good reference. Those of you listening that know, let me know. But anyway, he literally he liked the little girl who lived in the house. And so he asked her, can I keep you, a lot while he was a ghost. Well, then he becomes like not a ghost, he becomes Devon Sawa at the end of the movie.
Because everyone that was in my class was like, he's so hot. I'm like, is he not my type? The way Chelsea is about Michael B. Jordan has been me
Yes.
in my childhood where I was raised. I'm like, cool, like Devon Sawa, cool. Leonardo DiCaprio, cool. Like, just, all right.
I'm like, great. But then
I'm like, also,
when-
he's a ghost, so.
when they're dancing and he's a little boy, he whispers to her like, can I keep you? And she's like, oh, I know who it is. And but I feel like this is how she thinks can I smell you comes off, is like all of us being like Casper style, can I keep you? But like that's not how it went.
Not. It's not.
So then
It's just
the bar
not.
ends and she's still there and she's just like,
Who drove her?
someone else. So she's at someone else's mercy. So it's not like she can like choose to leave. But also she's not driving home, which is clearly a good
Right.
thing.
That was number one. That was my main part. Number two, I was just like, was the ride there? Because she needed to go.
Yeah, no, the ride was still there. And then I think once she realized that because she said it into the microphone that like, I mean, I wasn't trying to embarrass her like that. Because that's not who I am in those moments. Like I understand people are just having fun. But she was like, yeah. So because she said it into the microphone, it became the joke of the night. So I think by that point in the night, she had heard it from so many people, and not even heard it to her, just had people coming up to me and heard them saying it to me, that she was just super, super over it. But she was like still sitting there staring at me. So she didn't approach me the rest of the night, but she didn't. So then I like took my flowers, because we have a guy who brings flowers to us at the bar. And I was like, hey, I think can we just make sure she doesn't like follow me home? And
Thank you. Oh my gosh, even your exhaust pipe smells like you. Like psycho.
just kooky dukes people. Like all of a sudden I'm missing a chunk of hair and I'm like,
Listen, right? Like, it just smells so
crazy
good.
people don't give good haircuts. You will notice when they steal your hair.
Solid point. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. That's a solid point. Well, clearly Toy's not crazy because I look amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So I ran out of there and
You ran out.
I literally was like, okay, bye. And then like ran to my car and drove away. And then like went out on the corner and then put on my seatbelt and got myself actually situated to drive home.
That's real. I'm like, she doesn't need to know what car I drive. It just gotta be out this thing.
Yeah, I don't need any of that drama. The drama is not necessary here. The moral of the story, like the second she was like, I don't know, I'm just so distracted. You just smell so good. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, well, shit. Like,
Right? I was like, okay, she's trying to figure herself out and she's not good at it. Like,
I just should have been, and this is another one of those moments where as a woman, I should have been comfortable enough to say no initially, but I was thinking of the general dynamics of the party.
what we do.
And I didn't want to make it I didn't want to make it weird. And I mean, she made it way weird. So like hindsight's 2020, but like realistically, had she just like immediately been like, oh, cool, so I should just F off then, I could have been like, guess so. And then she would have walked away and we wouldn't have this lovely story to talk about on the podcast today. So,
But you don't know if that would have happened. That's the thing.
I think that would have happened.
Oh. So, I mean, drunk chicks will rally. So they'd be like, oh, so now like I'm not gonna have to sing here because I can't even smell you. This place is trash. Like I could just see them
you
all.
mean like freak out more? Okay, yeah, no. Because I was like, I don't see her being the person to be like, that's a solid request to respect someone's general space. I accept it. Like,
I mean, clearly not. Clearly not at all.
that's never gonna happen.
Never ever.
We are never, ever, ever
I knew that was from something.
gonna smell you together.
So gross.
So gross.
The only time I've joked about like smelling someone is that I've jokingly said many a times when I meet the love of my life, he will smell like steak because steak.
When I would work at Ulta, sometimes people would leave Black Rock and come over to Ulta because you're like right in front of the meat as it's cooking. You smell exactly like steak. It is disgusting.
I'd be like, what kind of cut was that? Tell me more.
You think that, and then you smell it and you're like, oh yeah, that is like steak on people. That's a
Or
weird...
it's like if you go to church and you're sitting by like somebody's grandma that smells like fried chicken, I'm like, you cooked last night. Like, yes.
No. First off, I'd be like, why are you wearing the same clothes? Like that is something that always bugged me. Okay, so like my mom would always make like something really stinky and like something really like something fried, you know? So like the oil gets into the house. So then I would close my bedroom door because I don't want my stuff to smell like that. I don't want people tomorrow to think that I'm wearing the same clothes that I was supposed to be wearing yesterday because the darn kitchen smells got through the whole house. Like, no, thank you. And my mom used to get so annoyed and she would walk around and like intentionally open the door. And when I would try to explain it, I mean, my mom and I are very like aggressively against each other in pretty much every aspect of my life. But like every time I try to be like, no, I don't want my clothes to smell like your food because I don't want to smell like food. Cause like I see to this day, I think that's the thing. Cause if I sat next to somebody and they smelled like fried chicken, I would be like, ew. And I'd walk away. Like,
as you should, if you can't stomach it or, you know, it's just not, it's not a pleasant experience for you.
I'm like, you would, I flat out knew. Somebody was like, oh my gosh, the waitresses at Black Rock make a ton of money. And I'm like, I remember when I worked at Big Boy and the clothes that I wore smelled like Big Boy. I had a specific place for those to go in my closet because otherwise my other stuff would smell like Big Boy. And I'm like, no, that's not who we are. We are not Big Boy. We just work at Big Boy.
Because I was a sandwich artist at Subway and I would come home and my mom would be like, you smell like mayonnaise. You're going to keep your work polo downstairs in the corner. Like you can go downstairs and wear it the next day. But as of right now, it is staying in that neglected corner of the house. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, no. Oof. And then like, thank God I can wash my hair every day because it would be in my hair. I do not know how you do that because legit, that would drive me crazy. Woo.
So, kids, children of the world, America,
Hey,
wherever
kids,
you're at.
gather around, kids.
So back in our day, you were able to smoke in bars, in
Yep.
restaurants, in clubs. There was a smoking section. Okay. So then, like, it was a good thing. So that's why my hair wash days would be Sundays, because I knew I would go out on the weekends. And so you go to the bar and the smell is just stuck to you. And being a fabulous Black woman, I mean, I'm a Black woman, but we're like pretty fabulous. So, like, we only need to wash our hair like once every 1 to 2 weeks, just depending on how, your scalp, your life is, whatever. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to wash my hair at the end of the week if I'm just going to go to a bar on Saturday night and have it smell like smoke and have to wash it again, because it is legit a hair wash day. There are multiple layers of products that go into this, and you need time for things to set. It's a lot. So when when I went to my first pure romance party, when we went with the girls from Victoria's Secret. And so, of course, I'm like freaking out of all the stuff they're bringing out. I'm like, where does that even go? Oh my gosh. And so they had this spray and they're like, oh, it's to get rid of the wet spot. Is that what it was? Okay.
It
So
was.
just like, I'm like, okay, what is a wet spot? And then someone educated me in it. I was like, oh dear. And then someone else was like, but also it's really good if you go to the bar, it takes the smell out of your clothes. I was like, oh, could it work on hair? They're like, yeah, it could. And that stuff did work. So I bought it just for that fact. So then it was always funny if someone came to, because we were in college at the time. So if someone came to my dorm room and they're just like, thought you were a virgin, what's the spray doing in your drawer? I'm like, listen, it's for my hair. And I would use it for my pajamas too, because if we were tired, because we just danced our lives away like we were still in the 90s, and I wasn't going to take a shower as soon as I got back. I'm like, no, I'm going to pass out and I'll wake up in the morning and I will put life back to my skin. So then I would spray my pajamas so it would take that smoke smell out. So I'd wake up, I wouldn't smell like complete trash. Oh man.
I'm telling you, like, so because it would absorb into our hair too, but it was, but I could hop in the shower and wash my hair for 30 seconds and slap some conditioner in it, rinse it out, and be done. So I do not. I envy Stacey's curls because they're beautiful. I do not envy the process she has to take to get to them.
It's a process. I remember someone asked me, they used to work with, his name was Mitch. And so Mitch was just like, I'm so mad. Like, I was supposed to go out with this girl and she told me she wasn't going to be able to go out. And I asked her, why not? Do you know what she said to me? I was like, no, Mitch, what did she say? She said she had to wash her hair. And I'm like, was she black? He's just like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I said, listen, like hair wash, like it will throw off your life. Because let's say something happened and it's like, okay, now I need to take my old uncle and I need to drive him to something because he has cataracts and blah, blah, blah. And it's going to eat up my whole Sunday. But Sunday is my hair wash day because it is legit like a 3 to 6 hour process, not even joking. So it's just like, listen, now I have to get in where I fit in with scheduling when to wash my hair. I'm like, it's a legit thing. I was just like, so as long as she's like, listen, I still want to go out with you, let's reschedule, you're golden. I said, my hair wash is a real thing. You need 3 washes. You need a regular conditioner. A deep conditioner is preferred, where you put it on your head for like an hour. Or you can do an overnight treatment, which is what I like to do. But if you only have an hour, you can even put it and then then get under a heated dryer so it locks in that moisture. Then you have to rinse that back out. Then you have to detangle. Then you have to make sure it's still like towel dry it a little bit. And then you do another little mist with water. Big on the LOC method, LOC. That is liquid, oil, cream. So liquid, you spray some water, whether it's whatever water you like. Some people do regular, some people do aloe water, coconut water, whatever. And then you put in oil so then it seals in that moisture. So I like to do coconut oil in the summertime, but mostly I stick to olive oil, and then you do whatever like curl cream so it keeps your curls popping, but you put it in that order. So each little like strand that you're taking, you're doing that whole 3 process with all of them. And then when you're done, because this part is all like your front, it's all like frizzy and all that stuff, you take a scarf to like lay down your edges, or if you have more baby hair, because I don't have a lot of baby hair, that you can do a nice little swoop motion, and then you put a scarf on and then you set it. Whole process. You're probably thinking, Stacey, you're taking too much time to talk about hair. Imagine living the life. But it's real. It's real in these streets.
It is real.
By streets, I
real.
mean the house.
Yeah.
House.
I still have to get you the Tracy Ellis Ross stuff. People are flipping over it.
That's amazing. First of all, Tracy Ellis Ross. Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Didn't she just win like fashion icon, like People's Choice Award or something like that?
Something like that, I believe. Yeah, she's fabulous though.
Yeah. What's up?
Nope, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because it's Thanksgiving, I was gonna ask Chelsea, what are you thankful for this year?
That's a good question. Do you know what you're thankful for, Stace? I'm gonna let it marinate for a little bit.
Like a good steak. Yes.
What are you thankful for, Stacey? Besides steak?
So obviously with this year that has been 2020, definitely thankful for my health. Though it absolutely sucks. You all understand that, you know, we can't be with a ton of family like we usually can be. I, no joke, was looking at plane tickets up until 2 days ago, just like maybe I can sneak away and just choose a flight that no one else would be on to visit my niece and nephew, because I miss them so much. Like, it hurts, but just like, you can't take that chance. And even the phrase that people have been saying, like, you're not getting together now, so the next time you get together is not a funeral for a loved one because you were careless. So definitely thankful for my health. Definitely thankful for having a home. Thankful to still be working, because like we talked about, not everyone has been able to do that. My heart goes out. I was talking to a friend. Her name is Maggie. And so Maggie, she's based out of New York City. And so she was talking about just like different articles that she's read, and like someone who got, you know, their big break, they got casted in whatever amazing musical, and then lockdown happened. And so she had to move back home. I think she lives down south because she has no way to pay her rent. She doesn't have a restaurant job, and she no longer has Broadway. So it's just like her whole like lifestyle was just stripped away from her, and she's had to deal with this year, and that just breaks my heart. So I've been thankful to really count my blessings, and also just kind of like, you know, just focus on me in a little bit. Number one, I was forced to, but just like, what am I passionate about? Like, what things do I like? So for example, like writing, that's something that I completely like put away, because I'm like, yeah, writing's cool and an English degree is awesome. What do you do with a BA in English? But also I'm like, I got bills and loans to pay, so I'm just gonna get whatever job and pay my bills. But then it's like, I had time to sit down. I'm just like, you know what? Let's rediscover what is fun to me. So it's been nice. But just thankful for like just the consistency of things that are in my life, whether it's God, whether it's like close friends, because my circle isn't big, but the ones that are in my circle, those are my heartbeats.
Oh, I like it.
And also world peace.
There is there's a movie called White Christmas, but there's a line in one of the songs that they sing. It's an old movie with Bing Crosby and all this, but
wait, I think I saw it. Is it
you
where
probably
like
have?
Is it where they like the two guys, like the two girls?
Yeah.
What my friend Rocky, his sister-in-law, like I watched it with her, and then my actual sister-in-law was just like, we need to watch that. And she said, I need you to know that it's my dream to have like those matching sister outfits, and we just do that little routine where they go, sisters. And I'm like, noted. I am here for it, because one of them's in a blue dress and the other one's in like a kind of like a mustardy green. And I'm like, both of those like colors look great on our skin tone. So I'm like, we can make this work.
I think this is fine. They're wearing the same dress in that routine.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
No, it's both blue. You will both look fabulous in it.
Oh, then why was I thinking a mustard color? That's from something else then, or maybe a different number.
Yes.
No, I love blue.
There's a line in one of the songs in that movie that it basically says, if you can't sleep, count your blessings instead of sheep. And so that was right. And then it's like, so you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. But that's what it just made me think of what you were, right? Because you're like, I'm just really realizing where my blessings are. And it was like, oh, if you can't sleep, count your blessings instead of sheep.
Adorable.
It's a really good movie. It has a good message too.
That I can find love.
Well, actually, love is not the message. Love is the after effect of being there for the people who actually need you. That's which I love. They like show up and it's like, hey, wait, there's these two girls. And does that not just but that's not even the whole point of the story. It's great.
Right. It's just a funned. What? It's just a fun, humorous component. What is funned? Like, I don't even know what that's a mashup of. Funned.
It's
ending? Funny ending?
Fun add-on?
Fun add-on.
Let's see. So the whole time that you were talking and I was like, I'm going to think of what I'm thankful for. And then I got that song in my head. So
you know, when you go to a restaurant, you're just like, everyone else go first and then I'll come up with it. And I'm just listening to everyone else's. Oh my gosh, that does sound good. It's like, Stacey, what do you want? I don't know. I wasn't doing my homework.
I don't know, but you all are going to have a great meal.
Right. Let's all share. Perfect. Thanks.
In general, I am thankful that even with all of the things with jobs and everything going on, I still was managed to one, get approved and to get a house. So that's a big one. I am super see, now I'm gonna get emotional. I am super grateful for my grandma. She's the best, and thankfully that she's still alive. So I haven't seen her because I don't want to get her sick.
Exactly.
But not that I'm sick, but I see new people every second of every day at my job. So sorry, guys.
Number one, don't you dare apologize. And number two, that's exactly the truth. Like, we want y'all to know this is tough. Like, I know we're here to tell you our ridiculousness and make you laugh, but we are all going through this right now. And whether it's Chelsea's grandma, my niece and nephew, all of your loved ones, it's tough not seeing people right now. I didn't realize how much people like really made my heart skip a beat until they were taken away from me, to be quite honest. And it's been rough.
My niece and nephew are in quarantine right now because my nephew go to school and a kid was exposed. And so they just think I get to be home for 2 weeks to play and all that, which is great. But they now they're not going to school because everybody's taken back to it. But my my nephew, he thinks it's like a wrestling introduction. He's like, we're in lockdown here, Chelsea. Lockdown.
Love it. Coming into the ropes. Into the ring.
It's Monday night, WWE Raw, lockdown. Like
that's what's been amazing when you talk to like us as adults are going through, just like, holy crap, am I gonna have a job? Can I pay my bills? What extra expenses can I cut? And kids are just like, I mean, I can't go outside, but I get to hang out with my parents a lot. They're just like so optimistic. Like children are just little, they're just pieces of heaven, I promise.
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for my grandma. I used to spend every Tuesday with her for dinner, and we haven't done that since February. So I definitely miss that. But she is just like this supportive queen who literally went from her parents' house to her husband's house, and husband and hers house, but like, so she's never done, and she flat out said, she's like, I have never done what you're doing. Think about that. You are this independent woman whose your name is the only one that's on that deed. What does that say about you? She goes, that shows, she goes, nobody does this anymore. She goes, you are a strong, independent woman, and you need to feel that. And I'm like, Grandma, thank you.
Thank you,
And then-
Grandma. Thank you, God. Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I was just so yes also I was just so stressed because I feel like everybody has this timeline expectation for like the fact that the house I bought needs a lot of work, and I was like, it's not going to be one of those houses that you come over and I just moved in and everything's done. It's gonna take some time, and my grandma
Things
was
take time.
and my grandma was like, the house that I remember as their first house was not their first house, but the house that I remember. She's like, that house on Morton did not have anything in the living room for the first 9 months. Do you know why? Because the people we bought the house from painted all of the molding pink, Chelsea, pink. How am I supposed to put any furniture in that? And it took me 9 months because I had 4 kids. So you know what we did? We lived in the kitchen and upstairs because that's what we did. It's what we needed to do. And she goes, your brother, your father remembers. He was 10. Ask him. Ask him. Nobody can say anything. You don't have to have anything in your house for 9 months. That's the rule.
Right? Because I have another friend that bought a house end of last year. And so her name was Amanda. And she was talking about how, like, same thing. She had a ton of projects to do in there. And she was just like, listen, I'm not going to be able to have people over right away. And you and her, I'm just like, first of all, who is over here being like, oh my gosh, why can't I come over? Why can't I see it? Heifer, because it's my house and I don't want you there. Like, it's my space. I'm going to do what I want. And until I want people to see the finished product that I have envisioned, you can sit outside. Like, just saying.
Oh man. But yeah, exactly. No, so I'm super grateful for my niece and nephew. I'm super grateful for my new niece who is due any day now. So when this airs, she'll be 2 days away from her due date. They just literally before this started posted on Facebook their maternity photos. Cannot wait to meet this sweet little niece who we don't know the name of yet because they haven't decided. So
Not mad at it.
I sat there and I was like, when you see her, you'll know. It'll be fine.
One of my bosses, their daughter went without a name for like almost a week.
Listen, sometimes you got to figure it out.
Yeah, but I didn't know you could leave the hospital
Yeah,
with
you
the kid without naming her. I was like, wait, what?
My parents made a really weird decision where they didn't get any of us social security numbers until they were done having kids. So my brothers and I all have like almost sequential social security numbers.
Interesting.
I was like, wait, so like my older brother was just like, wait, just didn't exist in the government's eyes until he was 3.
Listen, maybe that's how Blanche Devereaux did it on the Golden Girls because they couldn't figure out her age. Ha ha.
But yeah, no. I'm also super thankful for my friends like Stacy and my lifers. They're just it is interesting. It has been interesting buying a house. There are people who are in your life who are just happy for you and just want to see you succeed. And there are people in your life who honestly, I have come to realize want you in your life as long as you are doing less than them. And it makes them feel better. And
Better preach.
that has been a really eye-opening situation buying a house, like where there are people who their only combatants to me saying I'm getting a house are negative things. And it's like, wow, okay, cool. So you just wanted, you just like me when I'm down here. You know, you can like me no matter what level I'm at, regardless of what level you're at. I'm not that person, but I see you are. So now I got that in my head.
Bye.
Like, I really, it's honestly, how we can barely make time for the friends we want to make time for. How are we supposed to, hi Sheila, thanks for liking the post.
I mean, that's the truth though, because it's like you make time for what matters most. And honestly, I can tell you I am busy. I am tired majority of the days. But then when you find something, whatever that something is, doesn't even have to be another human being. It could be just an idea, business opportunity, like even going to the gym, because your girl has not been in a long time. But it's like, I know I need to get it together. But it's like you make time for things that are important. And if you can't even do that for someone that you call your friend, it's like, then you just really need to reevaluate what you're doing. Because that's crappy. That is shady. And most of all, that's unacceptable. Not here for it. Good day.
No,
I
you
say good
cannot
day.
smell me.
Right? Right? Smell yourself. Use soap.
I know you like to thank you. Don't stay, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna go, and then I was like humming the harmony in the background. Poo poo poo.
Listen, yeah, I feel great. Thank you, Stacy, for being you and being my friend.
Thank you, Chelsea, for being you as well. And inviting me over to your, you see me flip my microphone pen. And also, listen, while I ramble on about stuff, America, I talk into a pen because for some reason I just feel like I should have a microphone. So thank you, Chelsea, for being my podcast partner for life.
Of course. And then I'm grateful to Podcast Detroit for making
Yes.
this crazy world in this crazy year work for us because
Seriously.
not a lot of companies would be willing to do the extra mile that they have. And we're super, super thankful. And if you wanted to start your own podcast, check them out, man. They're awesome.
Right? I mean, we're awesome and you listen to us. So clearly they know what they're doing.
Make sure you go on iTunes or Spotify or however you listen and
Stitcher, all the things.
give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you review it. That's how new people hear about how nice and funny and smart we are. And also
And
maybe
hot.
tell your single friends that we're single and we can be single together or like commingle, when it's safe.
Right? We can hop on a Zoom. And also, I've said it before, and I was talking to my other friend, same friend, Rocky, the other day, how we are legitimate good luck chucks and how like anyone that's interested in us, like immediately they get married if we're not the person for them. So listen, if you're just trying to get married, I got you. Find me fun, and then we'll go our separate ways, and you're welcome.
Just pay for my dinner. Damn.
Right? Support your local restaurants. Yes. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm Stacy.
I'm Chelsea.
This is Reasons Why I'm Single. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.